get distracted. So your distraction is eliminating your boredom. But the problem with that is like there's certain thoughts that only come to you when you're thinking, when you don't have any input coming in. When we're constantly looking at our phones, the only input you're getting is input from other people. And sometimes that's good. Sometimes you get good stuff out of that. But it's like a diet of only fruit. You know, like, hey, mother, you need some protein.
Yeah.
Like you need to get some other things in your diet. Yeah, and I think having discomfort in your diet, like having it as a regular part of your life, it minimizes the amount of other kinds of bullshit. And I think that insanity and greatness are next door neighbors, and they borrow each other's sugar. There's something about mastery, like true mastery, that requires you to shut off massive areas of your life, personal areas, relationships, education. My education was a joke. I mean, until I was 21 years old, until I started doing stand-up comedy, I didn't read books. I mean, I might have read a Stephen King book here and there to kill time. I was on the train on my way to training, but there was no desire to educate myself. If I was educating myself, it was maybe reading the Book of Five Rings to learn better strategy, to be a better fighter. That was all it was.
Was there ever a point where you said, I'm a little out of balance, I need to go the other way?
Well, I realized I was a flawed person for sure. You know, and I think in realizing that you're a flawed person...
What helped you realize that?
Just being an idiot, you know, realizing, you know, girls would get mad at me, or maybe guys would get mad at me, whatever it was. I realized that I had flaws, you know. I knew that I was... And then also failing at comedy. One of the hardest things to do is to go from being really great at something to sucking at something. And that something that you suck at is now your path. You know, and that's what I found myself in comedy. You know, I could get laughs every now and then, but I knew I wasn't anything special. I knew I was terrible. And there was something exciting about being terrible because I had potential, because there was potential for growth. You know, if you start doing it and you're great at it, like naturally, like maybe I wouldn't have had the motivation to do it as a living for 25 years like I've done. I don't know. But at that time, you know, making that transition from martial arts competition to being a comedian, that's when I started going down the road of balance and started trying to balance myself as a person. And I started trying to almost educate myself to have more things to talk about on stage. And then along the way, my curiosity started to blossom. And then I started to just be interested in things for being interested in them. And as I got better as a comedian, I became less worried about what other people thought about me, and more worried about just improving and keeping this sort of momentum going. And as I relaxed more, you know, in having some success in life and sort of not worrying about bills as much, not worrying about my future, then I started to explore altered states of consciousness, and then I really started opening up the door to the whole yin and the yang. Life is filled with so many different kinds of experiences that are available. And that's one of the things that you sort of open up to when you relax. When you relax and, you know, you don't worry about what you look like, you don't worry about what you sound like, you don't worry about how people feel about you, because you've thought about all these different things on your own, and you've kind of corrected as many things as you can correct given that time period. But you feel comfortable that you're on a good path. You know, then you sort of can entertain ideas that maybe you wouldn't if you were insecure, or more insecure. You know, I think you have to be insecure if you're finite. We're worried about death. We're worried about disease. We're worried about loved ones. We're always going to be, in a certain sense, insecure. You know, we're worried about being sexually attractive. We're worried about being socially interesting. Sure. You know, there's always going to be some form of insecurity, but that's also part of the balance of life too. It's like you don't ever get to bliss. You know, what you get to do is chase bliss. You get to enjoy the moment. The moment is amazing, and it'll go away, and you'll be fucking tired, and you gotta get up, you know, and you gotta drive in traffic, and you're not gonna like it. And you gotta, you know, do some shit you don't wanna do. It's a lot of times where I work out where I don't want to, you know, and I make myself do it. If I was living in bliss, I'd just be a fat fuck sitting on the couch, you know, thinking that I don't wanna do that. My life is about enjoyment. No, there's enjoyment in doing things you don't enjoy.
Which only